I want to take you on a journey, one that defies the traditional ideas of work, retirement, and financial freedom. A journey where the idea of retiring at 65 seems not only outdated, but unnecessary. Instead, what if I told you that with the right strategy, you could retire in your 30s or 40s, live comfortably, and never have to worry about running out of money? That's the promise of the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. The FIRE movement isn't just a catchy acronym, it's a lifestyle, a philosophy, and for many, a reality. At its core, FIRE is about gaining control over your financial life, so you're no longer dependent on a paycheck. It's not about being rich in the traditional sense. It's about freedom. Freedom to spend your time the way you want, pursue passions, travel, or just wake up in the morning knowing your time is truly your own. Now, there are many paths to FIRE. Some people get there through extreme frugality, others through high salaries and aggressive savings. But today, I want to talk about one of the most sustainable and powerful paths to early retirement, building wealth through real estate and dividends. These two income streams can create a powerful flywheel of financial independence. They generate passive income, appreciate over time, and can be structured in a way that provides both stability and flexibility. Let's start by understanding what it really means to be financially independent. Financial independence is when your investments generate enough income to cover your living expenses. This could be $20,000 a year or $200,000 a year. It depends entirely on your lifestyle and goals. Once your income from assets equals or exceeds your expenses, work becomes optional. You're no longer working to live, you're living on your own terms. So how do we get there? The basic formula is simple but powerful. Spend less than you earn, save aggressively, and invest wisely. Most FIRE advocates aim to save at least 50 to 70% of their income. That may sound extreme, but it compresses decades of saving into just a few years. The less you spend, the less you need to retire, and the faster you get there. Now let's talk about real estate. Real estate is one of the oldest and most proven paths to wealth. It offers a unique combination of cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. When you buy a rental property, you're essentially acquiring a mini business that can pay you month after month. You're earning rental income while your tenants help pay off the mortgage, and over time, the property typically grows in value. Imagine owning 5 rental properties that each generate $1,000 a month in net income. That's $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year in passive income. Depending on your lifestyle, that might be more than enough to achieve FIRE, but it gets even better. Real estate provides leverage with a relatively small down payment. You can control a much larger asset. That means your returns can be significantly amplified, assuming you invest wisely and manage risks. Real estate also has powerful tax advantages. You can deduct expenses like mortgage interest, property management, repairs, and even depreciation, which often means you're paying little or no taxes on your rental income. And when you sell a property, you can potentially defer taxes using a 1031 exchange and reinvest the profits into more real estate. But real estate is not without its challenges. It requires capital to get started. It requires management unless you hire someone to do it, and it requires an understanding of your local market. But for those willing to learn and take action, it can be a reliable and scalable path to financial independence. Now let's move to the second pillar of our FIRE strategy, dividends. Dividend investing is all about owning stocks and companies that share their profits with investors. When you own dividend-paying stocks, you receive a portion of the company's earnings in the form of regular payments, typically every quarter. These dividends can be reinvested to grow your portfolio or used to cover living expenses. The beauty of dividend investing is its simplicity and scalability. You don't have to deal with tenants or property maintenance. Once you buy the right dividend-paying stocks, or better yet, a diversified dividend ETF, the money can just flow in passively. And over time, as these companies grow and raise their dividends, your income grows too. Let's say you build a portfolio worth $800,000 with an average yield of 4%. That's $32,000 a year in dividend income without selling a single share. If you reinvest those dividends while you're still working, the compounding effect can significantly accelerate your wealth building journey. And here's the real kicker. Dividends are one of the most tax-efficient forms of income. In many countries, qualified dividends are taxed at lower rates than ordinary income. Some people on FIRE live entirely off dividends and pay little to no income tax. The real power comes when you combine real estate and dividend income. Real estate gives you tangible, inflation-protected cash flow with leverage and tax benefits. Dividends give you truly passive, scalable, and tax-efficient income. Together, they form a robust foundation for financial independence. Let's look at a real-world scenario. Imagine you build a portfolio of 3 rental properties that produce $3,000 a month in net income. At the same time, you saved and invested in a dividend portfolio worth $500,000, yielding 4%, which gives you another $20,000 a year. Altogether, you're generating $56,000 a year in passive income. If you've designed your life to live on $50,000 a year, you've made it. You've reached FIRE. And remember, real estate income can increase over time as rents rise, and dividends can grow as companies increase their payouts. Your income not only sustains your lifestyle, it grows with inflation and market performance. Now, some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't make 6 figures. I can't just go out and buy rental properties or invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in stocks. That's a valid concern, but the truth is, FIRE is not only for high-income earners, it's for intentional people. People who take control of their spending, increase their income over time, and invest deliberately. Start small. Maybe you house hack, buy a duplex, live in one unit, rent out the other. Maybe you automate your savings and invest $500 a month into dividend stocks or ETFs. Maybe you pick up a side hustle to accelerate your savings rate. The key is momentum. The more you learn and take action, the more you'll see opportunities open up. And here's another myth. FIRE doesn't mean you never work again. It means work becomes a choice, not an obligation. Many people who reach FIRE continue to work, but in ways that are meaningful, creative, or mission-driven. Some become entrepreneurs. Others travel, write, volunteer, or spend more time with family. The point is, they're doing what they want, not what they have to. There are different types of FIRE, by the way. There's lean FIRE, living a minimalist, low-cost lifestyle. There's fat FIRE, aiming for a more luxurious retirement with higher spending. There's coast FIRE, where you've saved enough early that you can stop investing and let compound interest do the rest while you still work for fun or part-time. Real estate and dividends can support all of these variations depending on how you structure your income. Now let's talk briefly about mindset, because FIRE isn't just about numbers, it's about a shift in how we see money, time, and freedom. The traditional path tells us to trade time for money for 40 years, hoping that retirement at 65 gives us enough years left to enjoy life. FIRE asks a different question. What if we design life around joy, purpose, and autonomy now, not 30 years from now? To do that, we have to challenge consumer culture. We have to stop equating success with spending. We have to ask ourselves what we truly value and align our financial habits accordingly. FIRE is as much a mindset shift as it is a financial strategy. It's about being intentional with every dollar, every investment, and every life decision. And let's not forget community. The FIRE movement is built on the backs of people who share, teach, and encourage one another. There are podcasts, blogs, forums, and meetups full of people on this journey. You're not alone. And the more you connect with others on the same path, the more you learn, grow, and stay motivated. As I close, I want to leave you with this. Financial independence is not a fantasy. It's a math problem with a mindset solution. Real estate and dividends are tools, powerful tools, that can turn your earned income into passive income and your career into a choice instead of a necessity. Whether you want to retire early or just have the freedom to take a sabbatical, start a business, or be more present with your family, FIRE gives you options. It gives you control. And control is the ultimate form of wealth. So start where you are. Educate yourself, save intentionally, invest wisely. And remember, every dollar you save is a seed of freedom. Every rental property, every dividend payment, every step forward is one step closer to a life designed on your terms. Achieving FIRE, which stands for financial independence, retire early, is centered around one powerful idea: replacing your need to work for money with passive income streams that support your lifestyle indefinitely. At its core, FIRE isn't about quitting work altogether or escaping responsibility. It's about gaining the financial freedom to choose how you spend your time without being tied to a job just to pay the bills. Passive income is the engine that drives FIRE. Unlike earned income, where you trade time for money, passive income continues to flow even when you're not actively working. This might come from rental properties, dividend-paying investments, royalties, or other sources that don't require constant effort. When the income from these assets consistently covers your regular expenses, housing, food, transportation, insurance, entertainment, you've reached financial independence. That's the tipping point where you're no longer financially dependent on a paycheck. But FIRE goes beyond just retiring early. It's really about regaining control over your life. Many people in traditional careers feel stuck or burned out, not because they hate work, but because they have no option to stop. FIRE gives you that option. It creates breathing room in life to slow down, explore creative pursuits, travel, spend more time with loved ones, or even continue working on your own terms in a way that's meaningful. The journey to FIRE requires discipline, intentionality, and smart financial planning. It challenges the conventional belief that retirement has to wait until you're 60. By focusing on reducing expenses, saving aggressively, and building reliable passive income sources, you can accelerate the timeline and live life more fully long before the traditional retirement age arrives. Ultimately, FIRE isn't just a financial strategy, it's a life design philosophy built around autonomy, purpose, and peace of mind. Real estate is one of the most powerful and proven ways to generate passive income, and it plays a key role in many FIRE strategies. When you invest in rental properties, you're building a system that can pay you month after month, year after year, with relatively little active effort once it's set up correctly. Unlike stocks, real estate is a tangible asset. You can see it, touch it, and manage it directly. It provides income through rent payments, which can be highly consistent when you have quality tenants and good property management in place. One of the biggest advantages of real estate is leverage. With a relatively small down payment, you can finance the rest of a property's purchase price with a mortgage, allowing you to control a much larger asset than you could buy outright. This means your returns can be significantly higher compared to other investments, as your tenants effectively pay down your loan while you build equity. At the same time, property values tend to rise over the long term, giving you appreciation on the full value of the home, not just your initial investment. As rents typically increase with inflation, your cash flow improves over time, while fixed-rate mortgage payments stay the same. This widening gap between income and expenses increases your profit margins and can help you scale your real estate portfolio faster. Plus, the tax advantages are substantial. You can deduct expenses, depreciate the property, and even defer capital gains taxes through strategies like the 10. With thoughtful planning, real estate can generate enough monthly income to cover your living costs, making it a reliable pillar of financial independence. It provides not only income, but also long-term wealth building, offering both stability and growth as you move toward early retirement. Dividend-paying stocks and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are an excellent way to generate true passive income with minimal ongoing effort. When you invest in dividend stocks, you essentially become a partial owner of companies that share their profits with shareholders through regular dividend payments. These payments can come quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, providing a steady stream of income that can be used to cover living expenses or reinvested to grow your portfolio further. Unlike active income, dividends continue to flow without requiring you to work, making them a key component of a sustainable early retirement strategy. A well-constructed dividend portfolio typically targets companies with a history of consistent and growing dividends. These companies tend to be financially stable and mature, often leaders in their industries. Over time, as these companies grow their earnings, they usually increase their dividend payouts. This growth in dividends can help your income keep pace with or even exceed inflation, ensuring that your purchasing power remains intact throughout retirement. Dividend yields generally range between 3% and 5%, which means for every $100,000 invested, you might expect $3,000 in annual income. While this may seem modest, the true power lies in compounding. Reinvesting dividends accelerates portfolio growth, allowing you to build an even larger income base over time. This compounding effect can dramatically shorten the timeline to financial independence. When combined with real estate investments, dividend income adds an important layer of diversification. Real estate offers tangible assets and inflation protection, while dividends provide liquidity and ease of management. Together, they create a balanced, reliable income stream that can support your living expenses in early retirement. This combination reduces risk and enhances stability, making your financial independence journey more achievable and sustainable.